They always called me overly emotional, until the day the county deputy knocked on their door holding paperwork that listed me as the sole owner. No hysterics, no threats, just the soft rustle of legal pages and the sound of their certainty shattering like cheap glass. I didn't gloat. I didn't hug them goodbye. I simply watched the truth hit harder than any scream ever could. Here's the line that still makes my chest tight. Your flight's been canceled. Hope the walk home teaches you gratitude. That single text from my own mother, sent while I stood at the gate in Salt Lake City, clutching a boarding pass I'd saved 2 years to buy. One tap of her finger and my first real vacation in a decade vanished, refunded to the credit card she still had access to. The second message was even shorter. Poor people fly standby. If you've ever had the people who raised you weaponize money to keep you small, drop your city in the comments. This one's for you. 5 years ago, nobody would have guessed I came from poison. I smiled easy, listened hard, apologized first. Strangers assumed I grew up wrapped in love. I let them think it. The truth was uglier. My parents collected golden children and spare parts, and I was always the spare. My brother Ethan got the praise, the car at 16, the college fund. I got sarcasm, secondhand coats, and a sleeping bag in the garage the 2 times I disrespected the house rules before I was 18. But cold nights teach you things. Like how to work 3 jobs, how to file LLC paperwork at 3 a.m., how to buy your first rental property before your 25th birthday using money nobody knew you had. I learned to move in silence. I learned that peace is something you purchase, square foot by square foot. Fast forward. I'm 31, a single mom to an 8-year-old who thinks the world is kind because I made sure his corner of it is. We live in a modest townhouse near the river. Nothing flashy. I still drive a 10-year-old Honda, so nobody asks questions. Questions invite sabotage. My parents, meanwhile, had been living rent-free, well, almost, in the 3-bedroom I bought as an investment after grad school. I set the rent stupidly low, routed it through a blind trust called Riverbend Holdings, and never told them I was the landlord. They signed the lease without reading it, same way they'd signed away every chance to actually know me. I'd planned 4 quiet days in San Diego. Sun, ocean, no one calling me dramatic for wanting something for myself. I kissed my son goodbye, promised him a snow globe, and actually believed the universe might let me have this one thing. Then the airline agent frowned at her screen. Ma'am, this reservation was canceled 90 minutes ago. Refund processed to a card ending in 7729. My mother's card. Of course. I walked out of the terminal on autopilot. The January wind off the tarmac slapped me awake. My phone buzzed again. A photo this time, my boarding pass screenshot with the word "canceled" stamped across it in red, sent to the family group chat titled, "Keeping It Real." Underneath, Ethan had added a laughing emoji. Something inside me clicked, quiet and final, the way a deadbolt slides home. A random Uber driver named Malik saw me standing on the curb looking like I'd been gut-punched. He canceled his next ride without asking why and just drove. I spilled the whole story between sobs that turned into laughter that turned into perfect, icy calm. By the time he dropped me at my townhouse, I knew exactly what came next. I spent the next 48 hours printing documents I'd kept buried for years, the trust deed in my name alone, 5 months of late rent texts they'd sent whining about waiting until payday, the voice memo from last Thanksgiving when my mother bragged, "We should raise her rent. She thinks she's too good for us now." On day 3, I drove to the house I technically owned. The grass was overgrown. Ethan's dirt bike blocked the walkway like always. I used my key, the one they never asked for back. They were all in the living room, eating takeout on the couch I'd paid for. Surprise turned to mockery the second they saw me. Decided to hitchhike after all? Ethan snorted. I set a manila envelope on the coffee table like I was delivering pizza. Inside, 3 30-day notices to vacate, post-dated to yesterday, plus the sheriff's pre-filed writ of restitution. I watched their faces cycle through confusion, outrage, and finally terror when they spotted my name at the top of the trust documents. "You've been my tenants for 4 years," I said, voice steady. "And terrible ones. Today the grace period ends." My mother lunged for the papers. "This is fraud." "No," I answered. "This is ownership." Ethan tried the family card. We're blood. You can't put us on the street. You put me on the street twice, I reminded him. Difference is, I was 17 and you had someplace to go. The sheriff arrived an hour later. I'd scheduled it down to the minute. My parents begged, threatened, cried. I stood on the porch with my hands in my coat pockets and felt nothing. Not hatred. Just the clean, wide-open space where their opinion used to live. As the deputies supervised the final boxes, my mother grabbed my sleeve. You'll regret this. We're all you have. I looked her in the eye. No. I'm what I have. And that's finally enough. I left a single item on the empty kitchen counter, a framed photo of me and my son laughing on the swing set, face down so they'd have to turn it over. On the back I'd written, "This is the family I built without you." That night I blocked every number, changed the locks, and listed the house for rent at market rate. Applications rolled in before sunrise. Some wounds don't need revenge, they just need distance and a deadbolt.